Guys, for the delay in the next couple of videos, I just got a computer, a real-life, actual computer, and am trying to transition into using that for editing as opposed to doing it on my phone, which is what I've been doing this entire time. Highly recommend it. I had no idea what I was doing. I had a little bit of a learning curve on that. On a computer, I feel a little more comfortable. It's just a huge learning curve involved in terms of trying to figure out editing softwares and things like that to use. So anybody that does this regularly that follows the channel, please give me some advice or input. What software are you guys using? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? However, I do have a little bit of background in this. It's just reaching way back to about 16, 17, 18 years ago. In high school, I wanted to go to school for video editing and then took a drastically different direction and ended up where I'm at now. It happens. I am by no means a pro. I at least have enough knowledge to get myself in trouble. But it will take me a couple days. I'm forcing myself to learn this. I know the last video of the, as you guys can see now, there is no motor in this Ironhead. It is over on the bench right here. So, motor's out. I got a head teardown video. I had some mic issues and the audio didn't record for the cylinder removal. The head removal is fine. So I ended up splitting that into two separate videos. One on Ironhead head removal in the frame, and then a cylinder and bottom end removal video. So there's two videos coming. I'm just forcing myself to learn a new program and new software and try and figure out how to make all of this work. So I appreciate your patience. I appreciate you guys following along. For those of you that watch, I know I don't have a huge amount of followers, and it probably doesn't matter if I'm apologizing, but I like posting videos a little bit more frequently when I can. I've also hit the point of it would have taken me probably an hour to finish up all the footage from the last two videos that I ended up separating. I'm probably about 3 or 4 hours, easily 3 or 4 hours invested in trying to learn a new thing. But that's what I want to do. I want to learn, I want to improve, I want to get better. So bear with me on that. Thank you in advance for that. I have a parts list going for this motor, which is growing quickly. I was looking up some prices. It's actually cheaper, for whatever reason, the standard bore rings, which I think is what I need. I didn't actually clean up these pistons and verify yet or measure them. But a set of standard bore rings are my cost, $65, $68 through my supplier. And a set of 10 over rings are $32. It's literally half the price to get a oversized bore aftermarket ring than it is to get the, or ring set rather, than it is to get the stock bore rings. And there is definitely a little bit of wear on the pistons in terms of runability or drivability. This would not be that big of a concern to me. I think you can see them, you can feel them. It should get rebuilt. Now I'm kind of on the fence on how far and how much I want to invest into this bike and into this motor. Cylinders and heads, I think the valve guides are good based on the lack of oil that's in the combustion chamber. But if I end up buying oversized pistons and rings at $98, I think, 98 or 110, it's negligible on the amount to get pistons and rings. So I might just throw new slugs, rings, and overbore these jugs. Go up to the indie shop, drop these cylinders off. Wouldn't mind saying hi and keeping them busy. I'm kind of on the fence here. I don't know. I'm not going crazy and doing a full every single component of this motor rebuild. There's no way, because it ran good, it sounded good. But on the top end, I wouldn't mind freshening that up. On the bottom end, if you keep oil in it, it's going to be okay. So just kind of playing around with ideas and parts and prices and all of that stuff right now. My goal for tonight, and you won't see this for probably 4, 5, 6 days from the time of recording this, is to blast apart the bottom end, get that split up and separated. We got Shovel out here to give me a hand with that, right, Shovs? Right, buddy? You gonna help? Yeah, we got our helper dog out here. So going to blast this motor apart. You'll see it when you see it. It is what it is. Again, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you like anything that's happening on the channel. There's a ton of different things coming your way. Lots more Ford stuff, lots more Harley stuff. This is one of 4 project bikes this winter, so just slowly checking them off the list and trying to make time to get everything filmed, recorded, edited, and posted. There's not enough hours in a day. If I could cut out this whole sleeping thing, we'd be in really good shape. But like I said, enjoy. Thanks for bearing with me. Like, comment, subscribe, all of those fun things. Really want to hit that 500 mark. So if I need to publish more content to do that, my goal is 500 by the end of the year. We got just shy of a month left. Help me out. Appreciate it. Thanks. Oh, my cheap paint on a drain plug bolt. I can't believe that didn't actually hold up and stay like it was supposed to. Let's see, the oil doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad at all. Oh, I didn't plan this out very well. At all. This is the part where we just make a big old mess. Let me grab another pan. At least that chain needed to be lubed. Good thinking, bud. Why would it line up there when it doesn't fit underneath this? Foolish, foolish, foolish. Well, we're going to let that drain for a while, and then I'm going to figure out how I'm going to go about doing these oil lines and oil tank. Looks like the tank's going to come out since it mounts on the lower end of the bottom. How do I want to do this? Yeah, we'll take the lunch box out of here. Let that drain, then we'll pull the oil tank. I'll be back. Okay, while that's draining, I figured I'll start pulling off some of the electronic ignition stuff. I am going to mark where this is at. I don't know anything about how these power arcs work or how to set them based on timing. I'm going to have to verify and check some stuff on that in the instruction book that I got. But in terms of the wiring, it's a single fire, so we have way more wires than what I'm usually used to. But now we got all these marked. We got 2 skinny ones. We got a black one going to the left, a red one to the right, and then a third one going to the far right, or the red one going to the middle, and then a third charred black wire going all the way to the end. And we got our 2 orange leads going to the middle post as well. These are your ignition switch leads, I believe, hopefully. We'll figure it out, but I'll yank that out while the oil's still dripping. These I'm actually going to leave on here. The rest are okay, because that's separate. This comes down through the frame over to the coil, or the ignition box module. So this stuff I do need to get out of my hair. The other stuff doesn't really matter all that much. So pop a couple zip ties here. Being an early one, I know I'm in front of you guys, sorry. Being an early one, I do have a tack drive down below as well. But no dash, no speedo, and the speedo drive, cable drive, is all butchered up and non-existent anymore. So that actually kind of helps me. Alright, so here's our ignition wire. We'll deal with that one at a later point. Ignition wires, sorry. It's going to take me a minute to get used to saying that. I'm used to 1 wire down there, maybe 2 on a dyno. But 1 more step out of the way. This is slowed down to a very, very slow trickle, so I'm going to throw the drain plug back in. I'm going to hulk it down, but snug it up so it doesn't leak all over the place. Hopefully that lunchbox will kind of seal itself. Then we got 4 bolts holding the tank up here, 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top. Loosen those up, yank this out of here. Yep, I'm gonna pull it off the bracket because this upper bracket's kind of a pain to get to. Maybe. Nope, changed my mind. Lowers are coming out first. probably regret this in about 5 minutes when I get to the next one. If you're going to drop something, make sure to drop it in the oil. The reason I'm pulling this off the top of the motor right now is because it's way easier to get to these two bolts than it is the other two that are mounting this to the bracket on the top side. And the bracket's going to have to come off anyway. And odds are that's one of those parts that I would probably forget to put back on when it goes in, and then realize it when I go to put the oil tank back on. Not that I would ever forget that. I know where everything goes and would never make a mistake putting things back together. Popping off the vent tube first here. Should give me a little more room, maybe. Almost too loose for a ratcheting, but still too tight by hand. Alright, lowers are done. Then I got a huge mix match of hardware up here on these uppers. So let's take a look at those next. And a regular bolt on the other side, per usual. 3/8. I think I should have room. Yeah, this shouldn't fight me at all, actually. Only thing I got left over here is a giant puddle of oil that I left for myself, and the oil line down below. Alright, so I got rolling on the oil line and then realized it wasn't recording, but on an Ironhead you have one tube up at the top, that's your vent, then you have one lower back in here, which you can get to the hose clamp that you use from the bottom. This is the main feed into the back side of the oil pump, and then you have your return up top. Hopefully I got that right. I might have flip-flopped those, actually. I don't remember. Yeah, your feed's going to be up top, or return, rather, which you're going to get to from this back side. I got hose clamps on this, not the factory one, so I got to just go in from the back, pry that up, go from there. At this point, it's whichever one is easier to get off. Upper wins this battle. Now we can yank this out. This is still going to be making a big oily mess. I'm going to put this over here by the drain pan. Of course, that's not going to stay. That's going to go right there on the ground. Clean that up later. This one will stay on the motor until I pull the cam chest off, and I'll show you guys how to do that. You can get them out, but I don't really feel like messing around with that right this second. Keep jamming away on the rest of this stuff. These are the bolts from the oil tank, so I'm going to throw these right back in the motor for now. A couple threads. And then the oil tank ones will go right back into the tank. Okay, so now we are pretty much on to motor mount stuff, and then we're ready to yank this out. So on the front, you got iron heads, use a plate. You got two that go through the frame, two that go, they're shorter, and one goes into the block, I think. I think it's one. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've done this. Then we have a couple on the back side. You got your upper on this bracket. So iron heads have a frame, and they have a motor mount bracket made out of aluminum. These are notorious for cracking, so if you do take these apart, keep an eye on that. Definitely give it a good once over for cracks. There's a very common break point. As for us now, we're just going to pop these out. These are threaded right into the frame on the top ones. More mismatched hardware. Two uppers, and then I got to deal with these lowers. Not exactly sure how I'm going to get to those yet. Out, use longer extensions. Keeping all of the motor mount bolts together because these ones are kind of important. I don't know if I said that, but that is also your passenger peg mounts as well. And there you have it. So that's all of the rear motor mounts that are out now, so that's good to go. Now I can bring you guys back up. So you're going to need a 9/16 and a 9/16 drill. Some of them are studs. In this case, I got acorn nuts and everything. Actually, let me come around to the other side. You do want to pay attention to the spacer order. It's not that bad. But on iron heads, they are kind of goofy the first time you're doing this, or if you haven't done it before. Your plate goes on the outside of the frame on one side, like so. Inside of the frame on the other, which gets a little confusing if you haven't done this before, trying to put all this together. And then they'll line up. You have a nut, a through bolt on the back here, or a nut on the back here, or a stud that slides through, and then there's one more down below. So in this case, I think I'll set you guys up right here and we'll try and take this apart from this side. That's kind of out of my way. That's what we're worried about. Not you guys seeing, you guys being in my way. So, from there, like I said, I don't know which one is going to come out of which side when you're using the stud design like this. So, if we come to this side, I'll just place all of these. This one that just came apart. You also have the spacers on these, don't forget that. But these front two essentially are what hold the motor in place to the frame. This one for a lower. I'll slide these back together in a minute. The upper, so the back two bolts here and here bolt to the actual case. These two are what actually extend the mount to directly to the frame. So right now I got no pressure on those. There's the one long one for the back, front bottom. And there is a nut welded onto the back of the lower motor mount, or the upper rear motor mount. We're free spinning here, so I gotta get a wrench on the other side. Snake this all the way out. Here's our upper top, lower top. Then should have room to yank that other side out and get a wrench over here. Oh, is the oil pump or oil gonna be in the way, or any wires in the way? Why wouldn't they be? Close enough. Let's see if I can support this. Now we're dangling. So motor mounts are free. Like I said, I try and keep all of these organized, so we'll keep the upper together. Oh, one giant long bolted bracket. Come around to the other side, try and catch this nut before I lose it. Only lost the washer there. Don't know where that motor mount bolt fell. I'll have to figure that one out later. But we will bolt all of these right back together the way they're supposed to be assembled, so I don't lose anything. I don't know how fast I will be able to get this back together. Now I'm just taking the motor mounts, putting all the brackets back on, outside of the bike. Okay, so the front motor mount is completely off now. Here is the tack cable, remnants of it. Wiring is tucked up, kind of out of the way-ish. This will stay together, hopefully. I should zip tie that up and out of the way. Rear motor mount bolts are also removed, so we are looking pretty good here. Everything else we should be able to take apart off of the bike. So I think what I'm going to do is leave you guys on this side and show you how fun it is wrestling these out. From there. I wish I was wearing a little bit dirtier clothes, not that I care, but these are my kind of okay sometimes pants. I also should probably clear off that other bench. Let me clean up real quick and then we'll come back and pull the bottom in. Okay, bench is clean. And by that I mean everything's just pushed farther back against the wall. Looks like it's completely full, but I got a nice foot and a half of work area in front of the pile of carburetors over there, and the primary for this bike that's also over there. Not the internals, but the parts for the primary, and a ton of the other stuff I picked up at the swap meet. If you haven't, one of the reasons the bench is full, on the far right side over there, we got the original tank, the original seat, the other exhaust, part of the sissy bar that I'm building, and some other odds and ends. Even the sissy bar, not from scratch, all reused, crusty, rusty chrome swap meet parts that I have a plethora of, and they're cheap, so we'll try and throw together a super budget build, but do the budget build the right way, and it comes with a new motor. So if you're doing this solo, the other thing you can do that I would recommend, this won't be as bad since the top end's off, but if the top end was on with the cast iron cylinders and the heads and the whole thing was all bolted together, these get really heavy. If you yank the generator and take off the starter plate, these are great little access holes to give you room to grab and lift. But, ooh, hooked on a zip tie still, huh? What's up front? I missed one zip tie, always. Let me grab some cutters. I know I'm stronger than that zip tie is, but no need to make this more difficult on myself. Why is this hooked up anyway? One. How many more? Is that the only one? Hopefully. The rest of this should be free. Ooh, oil pressure sensor. For the gauges that aren't hooked up. I didn't even think about that one. Check your wires, folks. Don't do what I just did. The feed for the oil pressure sensor is still 100% bolted on. Do I care enough to try and remove this the right way now that we're already this far? And the answer is no. Goodbye. All right, now the wiring's done. And just like that, we are down to a bare roller all over again. So much room in there without a giant bulky assembled motor and trans. But there we have it. So thanks for watching. That's going to be the end of this video because I got to go in for dinner if you catch part of that. Sorry about the voiceover. I also preemptively apologize about doing some editing on a computer. I just got a laptop, so I'm going to start trying to mess around with some different softwares as well. If anybody out there makes videos all the time and has a preference for a free or free-ish, close to free, can't afford the nice softwares anymore. We're doing everything on a budget, including the video stuff, so if you have any suggestions for that, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear some feedback. Other than that, motor's out. I'm going to clean up the bench a little bit. You guys don't need to watch me do that. Go in, clean up, have some dinner, and we will be back on this thing tomorrow. The goal is to disassemble the bottom end completely tomorrow after work, but I have a ton of erranding to run, and I got to go put a parts order in for a buddy of mine as well through V-Twin, so we will get that going as well. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. I'm really trying to hit that 500 mark by the end of the year. I think we're about to roll that 400 hopefully in the next day or so, or maybe tonight, who knows. I don't check it that frequently, but I would like to get to 500 by the end of the year. It's a self goal. If you can support me, awesome, I appreciate it. Takes you no time, just hit that like button wherever it is in this video or how that works, and appreciate it. We'll keep the videos coming your way. Thanks for watching.